with Dani from
Hi.
Dani Nailed It.
I'm Dani Nailed It.
She's doing my nails right now, and we're gonna chat it up, talk about her life, talk about what she does, and her art. Yeah. So, first, when did you start doing nails?
I started doing nails. I went to nail school at the end of 2020, and then I finally started taking clients around March of 2021.
How long did the school take?
The school, it was 5 months.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just to be able to like get your certification. They didn't really teach you much there. Everything is kind of self-taught.
Really?
Yeah. Like most of what I do now isn't really taught in the school. They just teach you how to get your certification. It's really the bare minimum.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like, what made you want to do nails?
A lot of different things, I guess. I think like mostly from my experience of getting my nails done in salons and stuff, I feel like in my head I was just like, I feel like I could do this better myself. And then also I just like throughout my life, especially towards the end of high school, I kind of just knew that I wanted to be in a creative field, but I just didn't know what yet. And then when I finally was able to put myself or like make my own decisions for what I wanted to do school-wise, that's when I finally started going to nail school, and it kind of just felt like right. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, well, here I go. It just felt like what I wanted to do at the time, and thankfully it stuck.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, were you always like an artist? Like,
yeah, I always like had more of like, I was always inclined to be more interested like in the artistic field. I never really like had any footing in one specific medium, I guess, but thankfully with the nails, like I realized like it was my passion.
Yeah. What do you like the most about nails?
Mostly like how it makes other people feel. Like, you know, like making other people feel good, making myself feel good with like just, I just love creating things. And people love having fire nails.
Yeah, your nail work is like, it's so nice, and like the creation process, like how do you go about that, like drawing inspiration? And
yeah, there's like a lot of different ways like I come up with my designs. Most of it is taking inspiration from other nail artists. Most of the time other people, they come in with like an idea that they want from this other nail art that they saw, and then I kind of just put my own spin on it. And most of the time when people ask me to like freestyle and stuff, it's like kind of just my ambition to want a little bit of everything on the nail. I just want to do like just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I just end up with it's kind of like maximalist, I guess, my style. And so that's really like where my inspiration comes from, like wanting to get everything on the nail, but in a, you know, articulated, artistic manner.
Okay, so what's your favorite, like, your nail application right now?
My favorite, like, design-wise?
Yeah, design, or, like, the type of nails you like to do. Anything.
Okay. I feel like my niche is, like, anything with 3D, anything with texture. I've been playing with a lot of texture, like, throughout my nail journey. And also, I've been really big on like airbrush designs, and that I think I would call it like astro futuristic kind of. There's a lot of chrome, and a lot of chrome and a lot of texture.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color, it's crazy because on any different day, it's usually different depending on how I'm feeling. But I think right now, I could confidently say like a really bright, like maybe a chartreuse green. Yeah, that's usually how I'm feeling.
Yeah. So, what do you like to do other than nails?
Other than nails, I like singing. I like writing. Cooking mostly. I think that like aside from nails, I think cooking is my favorite thing to do.
What's your favorite thing to make?
Ooh, my favorite thing to make. I guess anything Italian, just because that's what I watched my mom cook growing up. That's like why I know how to cook.
What's your favorite dish? Italian dish?
Ooh, I'm gonna say eggplant parmesan.
Why?
Just because it's really comforting for the most part. It reminds me of like this Italian restaurant me and my family used to go to, and I also just love eggplant. And I think it's my mom's favorite too, so that's probably plays a factor.
That's cute. Okay. So, what's one thing about your clients that you love?
How much they love my art and how much they love getting their nails done by me, because if they didn't, then I wouldn't really be doing this. I would be like, well, I'm gonna go be a barista again. I do love being a barista though.
Okay, so you were working at where? Like,
Starbucks. Yeah. That was right after Urban.
Yes, and you were telling me, when I came to you, you were telling me like how it was a lot.
It was draining, yeah, because they always had me on like the opening shift, and I would always be the first one there waiting for like the key holder. The sun's not even out yet.
Right.
I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah.
I should be doing nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I would definitely love I loved being a barista, but just at Starbucks, at that specific one, because I was working at the one in Union Square. It was just a lot, like energy wise, it was so draining.
Yeah, so many people, and then I feel like people get so demanding, like,
oh yeah,
in those type of service industry things.
Yeah. Like, definitely that. Over their little coffees, over their little frappuccinos. Like, is it that serious? Most of the time, I get it. It's because people are coming in right before work and they don't have enough time to actually wait. But now you're making it my problem. And I can't do it.
Just chill. Like, it's not my fault you're late.
Hey, like, it's coming. You're the one that's going to have to explain why you're late with your Starbucks in your hand.
That would be me, like, in
Me
FIT.
too.
Like, I'm going to get a bath. I'm always
no,
going
with
to get a
school,
bath.
I would not care. With school, I did not care. I'm showing up with my Starbucks. Because, like, it's not my job. And then even with my job, I'm like, well, what are you going to do? You can't fire me. Because apparently you can't find anybody else to work this morning shift. But yeah, it was an experience.
Yeah.
It built character. I'll say that.
Okay, so like this entrepreneur life, how do you like it so far?
So far, there's a lot of learning involved. I think mostly with like just how to be self-sufficient and self-disciplining, because you still have to, like, it's still a job. You still have to, be punctual and still, mind other people's time. But it's been really great so far. I love working for myself, and I love that in working for myself, I can share my art with other people. And that's like the most rewarding part about it, is living off of my art.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like living off of my craft.
Word.
Because I've just been working, obviously like retail jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like just part of the course. It's like a rite of passage to like the rest of your life, pretty much.
Yeah.
You have to have, because you can kind of tell the people who've never worked in retail or,
Yeah.
never had to work for somebody else, I guess. I don't know. That's really the best I can explain it.
Mhm.
Because when you're working for other people, you can't really be yourself. You have to be the person that has this sales associate title or barista title.
Mhm.
It's really hard to like not get in trouble when your actual like self comes through in those titles.
Mhm. Yeah, because it's like it's just boxing. Like
Yeah,
they want you to be a certain way.
Right.
But it's true. I think everybody should like retail or service industry like restaurant jobs.
Mhm.
Those are really, I think those are good
Yeah,
to do when you're young.
of course. And even I'll say that like restaurant jobs, I don't really put those on the same like pedestal as like a retail job, just because it can be a little more rewarding than working retail or working at like a fast food chain or something like that. You know what I mean? Just because of like the connections people have through those jobs sometimes are like actually helpful. But through retail, I just feel like it's very dull. It's very flat. Like you're not supposed to be yourself. You're supposed to be the sales associate, the cashier, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I feel like when we were at Urban, that was like probably the most free like
Yeah.
you can get.
It was so crazy going from Urban to Starbucks, because at Urban, you know, you don't really have physical labor, you know? You're just standing there either folding shirts or like talking to customers, bringing them up, whatever. And then at Starbucks, you like there's no breaks, there's no sitting down, there's no leaning back. You're constantly working. That was the most stressful part to me. I'm like, damn, I have to be on the go constantly. This is new to me. Sorry.
It's okay. Cause like, yeah, cause I know you were at the cash wrap most of the time, so it's just like okay.
Right. Yeah. And it's so weird because sometimes like when I would be having those like down times where like, you know, there's really nothing to do, and if I would sit back, if like a manager saw me, they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be doing something. And you're like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? And meanwhile, everything's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the like, also like the thing with the managers too, it was like, a lot of the time it's like bad like, teaching. Like, they didn't like set the standards really.
Like, it was really just, okay.
Yeah, when you're like running a business, it has to be like certain ways.
Remember when we would close, and they would tell us like the stats for the day, and it would be like, guys, we didn't make the day. Like, how am I supposed? I don't give a fuck. Like, what? I don't care.
We didn't make the day. Heartbreak.
Because whether that we make the day or not, I'm still getting paid the same.
Yeah, like I think a lot of the time too. I think that's something managers have to like be aware of. Like, just because it's like your responsibility doesn't mean it's like you have to like project it onto everybody else in that way.
Like, you're still, at the end of the day, your position is replaceable.
Yeah.
So whether you get the job done or not, the job will get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hard truth. It's like the capitalism is
Crazy.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so back to nails. Where do you see yourself in your growth, like moving forward? Now that you're like 3 years in, congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's fire.
You put that in there. I definitely, next stop I think for me would be to get my own like separate suite apart from like doing it in home.
Yeah.
Just because I definitely love, you know, meeting new people and meeting them through my job, meeting them through doing nails. But I did stop taking new clients. I don't know if you saw.
I did.
Just because like I have a really big clientele as of right now, especially still doing it out of my home. So next step is definitely getting my own space and just, you know, being more accessible, I think.
Yay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
so good.
Thank you.
Yay.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. I love the growth and I like the art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like your mind, period.
Thank you.
Like it's so great. Every time I see your work, it's just like I'll be like, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the growth is there.
It's so crazy to think about because sometimes I do kind of like burn myself out and I get scared that I'm like, oh, I'm getting tired of this. Like, I'm not going to be wanting to do this for much longer. But then I kind of have to like snap myself out of it and realize like this is what I've been wanting to do. And I just have to get more, I guess, scheduled, like organized, I think. Because that's really where the stress comes in, is like having people waiting on me and then feeling like I have to, like sacrifice my time. But that's really what running your own business is really just like, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're your own business owner, when you work for yourself, you have, like, you're basically working 24/7.
Yeah.
So I think realizing that, I kind of just had to come to terms with that, and it's like when you want it, you really want it. So I kind of just had to like break through that wall of being tired and like broken down. But it's been really great lately, and I'm really thankful for what I have and for what's to come. And I can't imagine like where I would be right now, even if like the pandemic didn't happen, because that's really what like kickstarted me doing nails, I think, because I was going to school for stenography. Remember, for 3 years.
Yeah.
You could put that in. And that was wild to me because I was really just doing that because like my parents were tired of me not going to school, and they weren't going to put me through nail school. Like, that wasn't a conversation that was going to happen. So once I finally saved up enough money in the pandemic to put myself through nail school, that was like the kickstart to it all. And it's been great since then.
Yeah, now you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because school is just crazy. Like, especially when you're going for something that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
It's like deprecating. Like,
yeah. It was interesting enough for the time being to like keep me there, because it was, it did pique my interest. Like, I was very, interested enough to be going there for 3 years. But like, you have to graduate at 225 words a minute, and I was stuck at 190 for like more than a year. So that's when like my steam was already running low, and then the pandemic happened, the online classes. I was like, this is my exit. It's time for me to go.
And scene.
Yeah.
No. Online classes was crazy for me. Like, I really had to like push through it. And then also one thing I found, like, I wanted to go to fashion school. That's what I wanted to do. That was great. That was nice. But it was hard to do school online just because that's not the way I learn.
Yeah.
And like I have to be in person and like physically. And then, but what helped me was like doing what I wanted, like.
Exactly.
And then sometimes, most of the time, it would be like not really paying attention to class, or like skipping class, like DK mental health break, because no, it was just too much being required.
Yeah, and it was also like seeing the stats every day of like the amount of people that were dying, and having to go to an online class. And especially, I don't know, like, if other schools did this, but they were really strict still on, like, the dress code. They were like, you can't just wake up and get on camera. Like, I was like, why not?
They tried. I think they tried that a little bit, but I don't remember much, because literally, I would just, like, sometimes I would turn on the camera, and if it was a class I liked, I would, like, try my best
to be, like, involved.
Yeah. But one way I finessed OD was just like, because I'm not saying like I OD finesse, like I didn't have like like difficulties, whatever.
Right.
But like, I had to just tell them like this is just not ideal for me. I went to a counselor.
Exactly.
I had her email my professors and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm not coming to class today. Need a break.
Put that one in.
All of that.
See, you're better than me. I literally just stopped going. I was like, just stopped showing up. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I usually, so I was the type of person to always be like on top of all my emails and stuff like that. But in that time, I never had all my emails pile up so fast, and I was so anxious about reading them because I just knew that it was all my professors like, hey, like, where you at? You haven't been on like we had like this testing site that we had to be on, and they were like, you're not logging your entries and stuff. I was like, it's because I'm not on it. It was so stressful, and I can't be more thankful that like I didn't try to push myself to stay because I would just be miserable, I think.
Yeah.
I met some great people though, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put your foot down.
Yeah, me too.
You followed your dreams because now, yeah, you're continuing your dreams.
I'm doing the thing.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like a lot of people really like realized their potential during that time, and like that they could be really doing something that they're actually passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was like I really enjoyed the time, like to stop, because I usually would do a bunch of things, but it kind of forced me to stop and just chill and like see outside of myself and like what I thought I had to do.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
The have to do stuff it kind of sucks. Like,
what do you mean I have to? Like,
yeah.
I want to do what I want to do.
Word, like, yeah, I'm feeling obligated to things. Like, I'm glad I graduated because like that was like pretty much the last obligation. Like, I had to whatever, like myself, okay, fashion school, but like my mom, like going to school, all that stuff, like it's too binding. It's not like, unless you want to go for yourself and like learning and stuff, like learning on your own enjoyment and stuff like that.
Yeah, school is great when you want to actually do it. But when you feel like you're just doing it because you feel like it's something you have to do, that's when it's like you feel like you're basically just doing the same thing every day, just going because you have to go, like.
Yeah. What's a pet peeve about nails?
About nails?
Or just like what this experience, I guess. What's something you want to like fix, get better at?
That's a great question. Ooh. I think I would say basically, I think mostly with myself, I would say is just actually becoming a morning person, because a lot of the time I tend to like schedule people really, really early just because I like being convenient. I like being flexible. But then I end up doing that, and then I don't want to get out of bed. As even though like I'm working from home and I have like the most convenient commute to work ever, it's just like I need to push past that boundary of like not wanting to get on my bed and like being more excited for, you know, getting ready for the day and stuff like that.
I seriously felt that, like, you're talking to a mirror right now, because, it'd be so hard for me to get out of bed, like, and then also the attitude, just being, like, happy to wake up.
Yeah, it changes the whole day. Like, you know, you ever get those days where you actually do wake up, like, ready to get out of bed, ready to get your shit done?
Yeah.
Like, those days are so great. And then you feel like you have all this time to get everything done.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah.
Word.
So that is, like, I think my top priority right now about myself, to, like, change for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll do it.
Yeah. I'm in the process. Baby steps.
Word. Like, I think it's like, okay, are you like a routine type of person?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty much the only routine I have is like when I'm doing nails.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I have like the set process. But
Yeah.
anything else is kind of just, you know, go with the flow.
So like maybe like when you get up, just doing kind of like different things in like a different order. Like,
Yeah.
You know? And then being like grateful has helped me, like just remembering to be grateful, to like wake up, all of that, like life, being in, having a shelter.
Yeah, because it's hard a lot of the
stuff.
time. You feel like you have to do it because if you don't do it, then you're gonna have problems like in everywhere else.
Yeah.
Every other aspect.
So like yeah, the gratitude does help a lot.
Yeah.
Like okay, waking up and like being like more positive. Like I don't know what it is. Oh, you know what? I think for me it's like tied with school. Like like waking up for school, and it was just I just wasn't woken up in the most pleasant way.
Yeah, no, ever. The only time I think I ever was woken up and like excited to get up was when I was like in preschool, and my mom would like let the dog in to like wake me up for school. That was the only time. Because if my mom woke me up herself, she would like, you know, like
wake up. Like nah. Yeah, those things don't work. Like even the yells. Like sometimes for me, like I'm a hard sleeper, so sometimes like as a kid, you'd have to tell me 2, 3 times, 4 times, like a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I'd be still asleep.
Yeah, I feel like also it's in my nature to want to rebel. So if you're telling me I have to wake up, I'm gonna tell you no, I don't. Because why are you telling me what I have to do?
It's that have to thing. Like, what is that? Like, what is that about?
Right.
Like, it's that wording. Something.
Yeah.
It's something with the English language. Like.
Exactly. It's not. It doesn't work out. In my brain, it's just like no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay. I don't know. I think I may like cut more parts to make it more cohesive and stuff, but whatever. How do you deal with burnout?
I pretty much deal with burnout by not ignoring it, but kind of just working through it, because I know that I actually like what I do, and that I'm kind of just being stubborn, kind of like with my time, and like being more selfish, and wanting to be like left alone pretty much. But it's not hard to get through. It's just realizing that like, okay, maybe I need a break pretty soon coming up, like, and being able to give myself that time is definitely one of the best advantages of doing this for myself. But always knowing that I have that privilege, like, pretty much is like the biggest thing to get me through burnout.
Yeah. That's good advice too. Like, yeah.
It's hard though. It's definitely hard.
Yeah, just to like break through.
Because it really depends on my mood most of the time. Because I'm gonna get what has to be done. I'm gonna get it done. It's just gonna be. I'm just gonna be a little bitter for like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think for me, like, okay, it's like being okay with that. Like, okay, being okay with being upset. Like,
yeah, letting yourself feel your feelings is the biggest, like, thing, the best thing you could do for yourself. Because if you try to ignore it and you try to act like it's not there, then it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
It's like you're letting it marinate.
Right? Okay. What's the longest you've done nails for? Like, what's the longest time you've done?
Oh, gosh. When I first started, I only worked with acrylic, and I didn't really use, like, any gel or anything, so I want to say, like, a good 5 hours, at least, just because, like, I was really slow when I first started. I was really like perfectionist, which isn't a bad thing, but most of the time it kind of just made me take more time.
Sorry.
It just made me take more time than I probably needed to, you know.
How did you deal with like? How did you get more efficient?
Kind of just more practice. The more I practiced, the faster I became, and like I noticed it recently. A lot of people were like, "Oh, like that was fast. Like we're done already. Like that's crazy." And I think that just the more I did it, the more it became kind of like muscle memory, and just I guess getting better at actually doing the designs that people wanted. Definitely, like, what's the word? Perfected my craft, I guess. Just the more I did it, the more it became like something that I just do instead of something that I'm like really trying to get right.
Yeah.
You know?
So like not trying hard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for doing my nails and letting me talk with you about what you do.
It's been my pleasure. It was so fun.
Yay.
I love doing nails.
Yeah.
And I love doing your nails.
It shows. It shows by your work. It
Thank
really
you. I try. Because I know that, like, in my first couple of things I posted, it was kind of, like, obvious that I was either trying too hard, or you can see, like, the days I was tired, you could tell that I was, like, kind of phoning it in. But now it's been really easy to, like, get my passion to show through my work. Because I realized, like, oh, I'm actually doing what I want to do with my life. Like, that's crazy.